This is why I wish a lot of people didn't go to college, but this guy is joining with a degree he hates in education and doesn't have much interest in, but he's wanting to join the military, and he's got a couple questions I think a lot of you guys can learn from. Again, I pull this stuff from Reddit, bring it to YouTube, answer some questions, and give some real feedback. So if you're watching this and you post this, I hope you enjoy it. What is up, guys? You're tuning in to Nikki MGTV for another military video for all your military video needs. As always, you can hit me up on Instagram, Snapchat, or down in the comments below if you have questions. But as always, let's roll right into the topic, and that is one of the topic ideas I have gotten is giving you guys feedback. A lot of you guys go to the Reddit thread, New to the Navy. You can check it out there. I'll link it down below. There's a lot of stuff that gets put there, but a lot of times talking through a forum thread like that, there's not a lot of detail that you're going to get from something like a video like this where I can give you more information typically. So let's get into what this guy's question is. I'm a 21-year-old male student at a confusing and exciting time in my life, and I would like to be as informed as possible about my situation so I have some structure in my future. I agree with where you're going so far. Yeah, a lot of you guys that are in the early 20 range are looking for structure or which way to go. So the military can be an obvious way to go. Again, I always say 1,000 ways to skin a cat. It's not the only way, but it's one way, so continue on. So my original after college plans were to apply for law school, but I know the work isn't going to be something I enjoy. And I think that's true for many of you guys. People think, oh, I want to go be a doctor. They make 6 figures. I want to go be a lawyer. I've heard someone that made 6 figures doing that. And you don't really understand what that entails or what that really means, what you're sacrificing, what type of work you actually do. So just like what this guy ran into, a lot of you guys don't realize, but you can network even before you're in that field. Go reach out to a lawyer, a doctor, a nurse, whoever you're trying to be, and say, hey, I would like to see what you do. And most people will honestly help you out and sit you down and kind of be like, hey, this is a good part, this is a bad part. So do that before you start getting into degrees and going into debt. I've switched my area of studying goals quite a few times in college and still haven't pinned down what I would enjoy doing yet. Now I'm going to graduate soon with an education degree that I have no interest in using. Maybe when I retire, I'll have fun with my degree and be a teacher or something, who knows. That's not a bad idea because I know a lot of people that have retired. I actually knew an officer that retired and was my teacher in high school. The benefits are you're off every holiday and every summer. And if you're just wanting to kind of sit back and not have as much stress maybe as what the military provided, but you love kids, it might be a good option. But I like his thinking. He's thinking long term. One of my priorities is finding and developing a skilled career that I'm interested in and that's transferable to the civilian sector that also makes good money. From looking at the careers that are offered in the military branches, the only ones that I would like are in a few healthcare. Top 3 are nurse, radiation therapist, and dental hygienist. I think some military branches offer programs in these jobs that don't require previous certification to start, and they teach you everything you need to know. If that's true, if I were to start in the dental hygiene program in the Navy, for example, how will I obtain certification I need to do my job in the civilian sector? Will I be able to obtain my certification while in the Navy, or will I work as an uncertified dental hygienist during my service and have to go to dental hygiene school after? Also, if I have to go to dental hygiene school after my service, for my certification, how will I meet the requirements to apply? I believe they need you to take a bunch of bio, chem, physics, and other classes as prerequisites to apply. I believe I face a similar situation in nursing and radiation therapy as well. Assuming I actually work in one of these careers in the military, will I be able to specialize? Also, does starting as an officer make any difference in the career I have? I know some jobs that were listed for enlisted soldiers were not listed for officers. I'm thinking maybe one of the jobs I'm interested in may require me to sign as an enlisted instead of an officer. I'm currently leaning towards the Navy because they have a dental hygiene program that I think I can apply to. I believe the military will give me structure and guidance for all aspects of my life, and I will get to travel a bit. I will be speaking to Navy recruiter in a few days and would like some input. You got a degree in education. Now, you understand application for that is very limited. You don't want to be a teacher. You don't really show much interest in that. We don't really need teachers in the military like that. So you can do other options. You could reach out to an officer recruiter that will get you probably surface warfare officer or some other type of officer where you aren't going to require a specific degree. But again, to go be competitive, you would need a 3.0 GPA or higher, be competitive on your officer aptitude test that you're going to take. Also have a lot of good stuff for your resume or stuff to make you look good as a candidate, which is also beyond grades and just your test score, also physical fitness and things like that. Start off with the officer because a lot of people don't understand there's two paths, right? Like enlisted, officer. And as you're joining the military, they're not the same path, right? Like you're going to take a different test, the ASVAB for enlisted versus the officer aptitude test. Let's go through his job options first because he's talked about three of them. First one was nursing, and he was correct. You will need a nursing degree in order to do that. So he'd have to go back to school to become a nurse, a registered nurse, and get his BSN if he wanted to do that. So that can happen, but I don't know his financial situation on whether he wants to stay in being a student. But again, he's not too focused on what he wants to do. He's not totally driven in one path as far as structure, which is why he's kind of coming to the military, which I don't know if I'd bet on going back to school to become a nurse, even though officer life is obviously what I would want you to do. I just don't know your mindset and your financial situation to give you that guidance to do that if you really want to, but if you want to, that's on you. Next one is radiation health therapist is what he's going over. So we do have especially rad health techs in the military. As far as Navy goes, I've had a few friends that do it. Typically getting stationed on bigger platforms ship-wise at these carriers because obviously higher likelihood of radiation being exposed there and needing to monitor that. So yes, there is that specialty, but that's a specific thing for enlisted corpsmen. You could go into stuff like industrial hygiene if you're looking to use a degree, but again, you have to go back to school for specific degrees and talk with an officer recruiter to get that specific degree or what would meet the requirements for industrial hygiene. And you'd have to talk with them about your school, what they offer, and what your degree would be able to apply for again. So you can enlist and do the corpsman thing for nursing, you know, like if you want that step down, but again, that's a big step down from nursing. Or you could also go enlisted corpsman and also do rad health tech if you want to do that. Lastly, you have dental hygiene. So dental hygiene is available for the Navy. They actually send you to a civilian school to get your certification while you're in. There are people that are not dental hygienists that do clean teeth. It's not super common all the time, but most places, I'll say that I was in Rhoda, that I experienced that, but most places do have dental hygienists that are there. So you can go to school. That you're totally correct. There are requirements as far as biology and anatomy and physiology and a bunch of other, whatever the requirements are. I'm not going to post them here. I'd search them up, but I'm at home and I can't get online to go to the contract to look at it. So I apologize, but you're not in yet. So that's like definitely way down the road. But if you want to do that, you could become a corpsman and do that. And that would be from enlisted to that. There's not an officer position for dental hygiene. So I hope I've helped delineate that there are officer jobs, there are enlisted jobs, and they don't always mix, right? Like you can't be a corpsman officer. Corpsman is a only enlisted position that is medical. That's what we're considered. Hospital corpsman is enlisted medical corps, right there, or hospital corps, I mean. But then you have nurse corps, and you have all these specialties that are the step up. So you really have to delineate what you want to do. Do you want to be an officer? And does it really matter if you don't do healthcare because your degree is in education? Do you want to go that route? Or do you want to go back to school to make sure you get one of those higher level education degrees that may get you in that role of healthcare? Are you willing to bump yourself down in regards to expectations and be like, well, I did get my degree, but I'm willing to go enlisted and work my way up and maybe do something with that degree or go to more schooling while I'm in? There's a lot of possibilities here. So we'll go through the 3 job options he talks about. And he asks about if you can specialize. Nursing, that if you decide to go back to school and do that, there are specialized nursing. Do you want to be ICU nurse? Are you going to be a neonatal nurse? Are you going to, like, there's so many different types of nursing that you can do that is just very broad term to say nursing. Now, when you talk about radiation health tech, that is something that is a specialized enlisted role from corpsman to that. So that's your specialization would be that. And lastly, you touched on dental hygiene, which is again a specialty or a C school for hospital corpsmen. Ask also, does starting as an officer change what his job is in the military? And that's yes, because officers require degrees. Degrees require some specific type of degree to do a specific job, right? So there are some jobs that you can do that don't require a specific degree, but again, go to your recruiter if you have questions, or a officer recruiter specifically, if you have questions about what types of programs you can do to apply to Officer Candidate School, aka OCS. Alright guys, so I hope that a lot of you guys maybe had some clarification or understanding from this Reddit post. Hopefully he gets the information out of this. And if you're in college, you're looking to join, and you're kind of in the same boat, I hope this provided some information for you guys and maybe gave you guys some direction. But as always guys, if you guys do have questions, you can always hit me up on Instagram, Snapchat, or down in the comments below. I love you guys. I'll see you next time.